These two muscular giants of the global game, shoulder to shoulder for a World Cup final. The Maracanã, the home of football's soul. Well, there was late unsettlement in the German team. Right at the last, with the teams in the tunnel, a change was made. Kramer has come into the side in place of Sami Khedira. Otherwise, as they were in the semi-final, the 11 contains Thomas Müller, who needs a goal to win uniquely a second consecutive Golden Boot, and Miroslav Klose, who has already used this tournament to become the competition's greatest scorer. He joins only Pelé in having played in finals 12 years apart. Two men of 5'7", the skipper's small men with major responsibilities. Niccolò Rizzoli becomes the third Italian to referee a World Cup final. The Argentine team has been subject to greater conjecture and doubt than Germany's, but in the end they go with the successful semi-final formula. That means that contrary to some pre-match rumour, Angel Di Maria isn't ready to start, nor indeed is Sergio Aguero, who did come on towards the end on Wednesday. The beneficiaries of those two absences are Enzo Perez and Ezequiel Lavezzi. Martin de Michelis, a former Bayern Munich player, is particularly familiar to the German team. Argentina began the competition here with a back three. It's been a back four ever since. No one more familiar, of course, than Lionel Messi. The Maracanã's most faithful patron. He hasn't missed a kick. On whom will he choose to smile at football's most fated spiritual home? The game of games, a World Cup final at the Maracanã. A final with substance, history, depth, and just enough fantasy. Two nations that expect, that demand, and that consider it their time. Neither has won it since each beat the other in successive finals a generation ago. Zabaleta for Argentina, and now Lavezzi. First touch for Schweinsteiger, and then Hummels, who's had a wonderful tournament, which has contained a goal and so much else. He, one of 10 on the shortlist for the Golden Ball, the award for the player of the competition, which will be awarded after the final. Götze. End up beyond Müller, and also beyond Özil. Well, Joachim Löw disrupted in the moments immediately prior to the game, having to make a change to his team and withdraw Sami Khedira. Sabella able to go, as Löw intended to, with his semi-final lineup. Here is Klose. And the first touch of the game for Sergio Romero, the hero of Argentina's semi-final success the other night with those two penalty saves. Götze. Schweinsteiger. Kroos, and now a first touch for Kramer. Müller. Nice take from Özil, shifted through towards Klose. And lifted away without ceremony by Mascherano. Pulls away from Higuain. Mascherano also a man mounted against the Dutch in the Wednesday's semi-final, which was a game made to measure for the defensive tackling sort. He's certainly one of those. Müller tried to find a gap where perhaps there wasn't one. Denied that gap, and Rizzoli has given his first major decision of the game against Marcos Rojo, coming across from left-back here. He gave Müller just enough. And Germany have a direct free kick, plumb centre, position A1, and 30 yards from goal. Kroos in the committee, Müller, Özil, Lahm, they all want to say, Schweinsteiger as well, and the junior partner Kramer. Committee. Romero is guessing. 5 in his wall, and 5 behind the ball. It's set for Schweinsteiger to hit. Kroos had a go too, and it bounced back rather harmlessly off the wall after all of that. Hummels having to deal with Lavezzi on the counter. Lavezzi has Higuain ahead of him, who's lashed it right across the face. And from Germany's free kick, Argentina threatened. Higuain beyond Boateng, and Neuer, to his credit, actually withdrawing his bottom hand there, in the knowledge that it was bypassing the back post. Just the 1 goal in this competition. Remember, he scored a hat-trick in Johannesburg 4 years ago against South Korea. Schweinsteiger, Hummels, Hövedes, club centre-half who's adapted to being a national left full-back with a composure which few of Germany's regular observers expected. Really has grown into that role. Schweinsteiger, Kramer, Boateng, Lahm, Özil, Müller, and it's nicked off Billia and worked out kindly for Romero. So clearance locates Messi. Wriggling and slippery, coming away from Hövedes. Looking to play in Lavezzi. And Nicola Rizzoli with a moment of mild embarrassment at the start of the biggest game of his life. Oddly enough, it's the 3rd time he's refereed Argentina at this competition. The Italian saw their wins against Nigeria and Belgium, but clearly he's more familiar with European football, and indeed oversaw the all-German Champions League final of 2013 between Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. Zabaletta's throw. Garay, Mascherano, Rojo, bitten off by Lahm. Kroos, Müller, Lahm, Müller's on the chase, and will have to settle for a throw. Fielded him by De Michelis. Müller, Lahm the skipper, Müller with space, and the cross which, given that space, is a mild disappointment. Müller, 5 goals in successive World Cups now, and given his number of assists, should he score a 6th here today, then he would certainly be the favourite to collect the Golden Boot. Once he's matched James Rodriguez goal for goal, the Colombian still in pole position for that prize. Schweinsteiger, Kramer, Müller, Lahm, Hummels, Hövedes, Schweinsteiger, Lahm, coming away from Perez. Kroos. Missed out for Messi. who's taking on Hummels, and it's got beyond Hummels. It's fantastic from Lionel Messi, who looked to set it back for Perez. First glimpse, first little glimpse of what he might do. Lionel Messi has teased the world. Lahm, Schweinsteiger, Özil, Kroos, Lahm, Özil. Muller will wait for the throw. Schweinsteiger. Özil. And again from Schweinsteiger. Nice idea from Muller. Done okay by Perez. Well, here we are, twinkle toes for the first time. Hummels saw him, and then he lost him, and Messi was in behind. Schweinsteiger reading the danger well. Zabaleta, Lavezzi, Zabaleta, Higuain, Lavezzi, in by Zabaleta, and behind Perez, so that Muller can sweep it clear. Enzo Perez half a yard ahead of Zabaleta's cross. Mascherano, Perez, Rojo, Messi, Billia, spooned up beyond Zabaleta, and Neuer wants to get there but won't. Firing it against Hervedez, who threw his frame in away at the expense of an Argentine corner. Maracanã is Argentine territory just for one day. Lavezzi's corner. Closer away from the near post. Götze again. Özil. Sweet feet from Mesut Özil. Sturdy challenge from Zabaleta. This protects it for a German throw. Kroos, Kramer. Lahm. Rojo. Schweinsteiger has won it well. Won it from Messi, who made it his business, having lost possession in midfield, to go back and repel the immediate danger. Kroos. Lahm. Missed by Perez. Muller wide of him. Lahm played it in, closer, attacks it. Michaelis was at pains to stay with him. The man whose place in World Cup legend is already assured, Miroslav Klose. Michaelis, by his very muscular presence, sufficient to deny him a header at goal. Well, on closer. Mascherano making the contrary case. To Michaelis apparently disbelieving. Maybe a little hard on the centre-half, who had eyes for the ball. Closer beat him to it, though. Has set a wall of just two. Toni Kroos behind the ball. Mesut Ozil keeping him company. Ozil over it. In by Kroos. Kramer was hurrying in unnoticed behind the back post, but it didn't reach him. Schweinsteiger, and behind by Michaelis, just indicating that the sun was in his eyes. There's just a tiniest little patch of the pitch inside that penalty area, which is still penetrated by direct sunlight. And Michaelis, as you'll see here, had that to deal with. Really wasn't seeing that ball as he steered it behind. Toni Kroos with the low-driven corner. Touched out for Perez. He wants to take on Ozil here. He's run, what, 80, 85 yards diagonally across the field. Ozil stayed with him pace for pace. Zabaleta. Garay. Rojo. Long Boateng beneath it. Schweinsteiger. And now Lahm. Rolled into Kroos's corridor. Michaelis affording him little, if any, space. Hoisted back in by Klose. Kept alive by Ozil. Germany have a problem with Christoph Kramer having stayed down in the penalty area. The man who was a late replacement for Sami Khedira actually starting in the final, his first ever World Cup match. And Kramer is floored in the Argentine penalty area and evidently feeling pain. And what might have been the greatest day of his life be cut short here by a pretty sharp elbow. Garay, right elbow, sharp shoulder. Well, that was what amounted to a pretty ferocious uppercut. That has hurt the young man, 23 years old. He's played just a 25-minute period of extra time against Algeria and stoppage time here against France. He's never started in a World Cup tie before. He played because Khedira was withdrawn late. And now Love stares at a potential problem. Wasn't actually in the original 30 for Germany for this World Cup, but he impressed so much in a friendly against Poland in May that Löw called him up as a wild card, and then he made the cut for the 23. Off the back of a very good season with Borussia Mönchengladbach. And today his dream came true. His ticket came out of the raffle. And he was picked for a World Cup final at the last minute. Away by Rojo. So Perez, the beneficiary of Angel Di Maria's continued absence. Either Di Maria or Aguero, who can see just behind Sabella there on the bench, is fit to play a part later if called upon. Remains to be seen. Lam. Bullied off it by Rojo. That's another who's had a very, very good World Cup. Argentina arrived here with a question mark hanging over them that perhaps their defence would be a weak spot. Well, they've kept 3 consecutive clean sheets at that stage. So Morocco, who did miss the quarter-final against Belgium through suspension, has been otherwise pretty well immaculate. Higuain. Forward for Higuain and Boateng. Back to Neuer. Garay's leap. Oh, that's a terrible back header into the path of Higuain, who should have opened the scoring in the World Cup final. Gift. And one that is frittered away. Inexplicably nudged back into his path. Gonzalo Higuain could have begged for no more, but he snatched at the moment, and the moment got away. Toni Kroos, the luckiest man on the planet. He who has been so assured, many people's idea of perhaps the best midfield player in this tournament, Toni Kroos. He's not done a lot wrong, but my goodness me, that was very wrong. For Toni Kroos, this was Christmas Day. A, because of his generosity, and B, because ultimately he got very lucky. Higuain will toss and turn if Argentina lose by 1. Özil. Argentina, remember, the team, the only team in this World Cup which has not so far been behind, but they ought to have been ahead. Gonzalo Higuain had an edge. Hummels 3-4 yards behind when Higuain snatched at the shot and shinned it. Mascherano reacted as all of Argentina did. Schweinsteiger winning today a 108th cap, which takes him beyond Jürgen Klinsmann. Kroos almost resettled now after that harum-scarum moment. Lam. Boateng. Hummels. Lam. Muller's waiting, Klose is waiting. It's beyond Muller, it's come to Miroslav Klose. It's nicked out to Kroos, shifted wide for Özil. Hervedez. That's a good advance from left full-back from Benedict Hervedes. Temichanis wins the throw-in last off him. Copacabana Beach. If you couldn't get a ticket, that's where to be. And the preeminent colours there, albiceleste, the blue and white. The tide's coming in and lapping them away. The atmosphere down there yesterday was electric. Today, my goodness me, that is the world's greatest party. Quarter of the World Cup final has passed. It's goalless. It shouldn't be. On a simply divine evening in Rio de Janeiro. 2.5 days of rain here prior to the final. Brazilian tears they were. Representative of the heartbreak that followed their dreadful semi-final on Tuesday. The tears have been dried. The fixed smile is on. And sunshine blesses us today for the game of games. Kroos. Ozil. Closer. Cross came Garay. Kroos again. Lahm. Müller. Kramer. Müller. Kroos. Schweinsteiger. Hummels. Müller. Schweinsteiger. Lahm. Towards Kramer, out by Garay, chased up by Lahm. Schweinsteiger. Kroos. Ozil. Schweinsteiger. German probing. Götze closing, and Lahm having to start again. Argentina's attention to the man on the ball, impeccable and unfailing. It's how they finally ground down the Netherlands in the semi-final. Just denying the opposition a way through. Germany full of goals, 17 of them at this World Cup. More than twice as many as Argentina have scored. But it's getting on now for 7 hours of playing time since Argentina last conceded. The second of Ahmed Musa's goal for Nigeria against them in Porto Alegre. Sabella has them immaculately drilled. Hummels. Schweinsteiger. Kroos. Over the top by Schweinsteiger towards closer, and well read by Romero. It's a good pick that by Schweinsteiger. Closer was onside. Romero, another outstanding goalkeeper, one of several in this competition. There's a short list of 3 for the Golden Glove, but there have been several other contenders beyond. Lahm. Oh, neatly played in by Lahm. Romero got a glove on it. Actually, the flag was up as soon as Klose and or Müller became live participants. The Italian Renato Faverani applied his flag, and rightly so. It was Müller. Once Müller stuck out a leg there and became live, he was offside. Götze driving at them and having his ankle tapped, I think, by a retreating Higuain. And for the first time in the final, the referee has gone to his pocket. And he's shown the card to Schweinsteiger. Well, Schweinsteiger had a nibble, so did Higuain. I think it was Schweinsteiger whose touch probably was the key one, but if one didn't get in, the other was going to. Schweinsteiger it is in the book. The second yellow card of the competition. Well, it favours a left foot, and there's a very famous one behind it. It's a long way out. Messi. And out again to Billia. Serrano kept it in a little scrappily. Romero away. Messi. Away from Götze. Look at the space here for Lavezzi. Lavezzi. Higuain! Flags up! Flags up! He doesn't know it yet. It's not a goal. It's not a goal. Immediate from Andrea Stefani. Well, this will be tight. This will be really tight. It is absolutely right. Brilliant from the Italian official. Gonzalo Higuain denied. Denied once by his own errant shot, and denied a second time by an absolutely correct flag. Sabella saw the flag, even if Higuain didn't. Oh, poor fella. You could weep for this boy, weep for him. He became a World Cup finalist on full World Cup debut at the age of 23. And now he can't see his special day through. That is genuinely sad from a human perspective. Kramer plays no further part. And Germany replace him with the man who has become, in this knockout stage, their super sub, Andre Schürrle of Chelsea in the English Premier League, who has scored from the bench 3 goals in the knockout section of the competition. One, crucially, in the last 16 game against Algeria, and then 2 of the 7 in the Jamboree against Brazil. Hasn't started a World Cup tie, Andre Schürrle, and yet will end the competition as one of the notable stars. Has been unlucky, actually, with the way he's had to reshuffle his personnel. Remember, he lost a fullback in Mustafi at the end of the group stage, which is why Lahm had to return to that position. He it was who had been playing in holding midfield. Clearly, Khedira has a problem. Now Kramer has a problem. There's not much else that can go wrong. But Germany continue to defy the disruptions. Kramer looking, still as he went off there, genuinely dazed as a result of that man, Garay, and a shoulder shoved into the side of his head. Fouled by Higuain on Lavezzi. Götze, who stuck out a toe. Lavezzi, who went over it. Lavezzi. Zabaleta. That was rugged. euphemistic. Rugged. It's a shade more than that. And Rizzoli is required this time to book Benedict Höwedes. Man who hasn't missed a minute of the World Cup, sees his second yellow card, and oh my goodness me, you know, when you see that again, there'll be some who think he's a little lucky that it was just yellow. That was knee-high, and there was a stud involved. On another day, I think Rizzoli has probably done the right thing. It's the World Cup final, you want it to be 11 against 11. Remember the stick England's Howard Webb took for keeping his red card in his pocket at the last World Cup final. But the world came round to the way of thinking that it was best to do that for as long as possible. And he's taken the benign view, and Höwedes stays with us. Ozil. Steiger, Ozil, Kroos, Müller, closer. Run out by Lavezzi. Closer. Stumbled over Perez. Perez and Rocco, actually two left-sided colleagues going shoulder to shoulder there to block out Miroslav Klose. Mascherano away. Lavezzi. Messi. Looking to play in Gonzalo Higuain. Selflessly Lionel Messi. On another day, perhaps he could have dipped that left shoulder of his and gone himself. But Higuain appearing in picture there was probably the better option. Schweinsteiger had read it. Lavezzi to take, only Zabaleta left back for Argentina, two centre-halves in the mix. Lavezzi's delivery and Neuer's certain hands. Oh, Muller's dropped a shoulder. Belted towards Romero, who made a really important save from Schürrle. Andre Schürrle's only been with us a matter of moments, but his appetite for goals is sharpened, and Müller invited him to have a crack at goal. Might have caught a bit of Ozil, and Ozil's appearance there is what actually caused a flag to be upraised for offside. But that's what Schürrle's been about in this tournament. He's appeared and scored. Schweinsteiger. Schürrle. It's a fabulous diagonal for Lahm, who's just overcooked his cushioned volley cross. It is a little on edge for those German supporters who come into this, well, they both do to some extent, but Germany in the world's eyes as the real form team. Expectations heavy. But Argentina have had one golden goal-scoring opportunity. They've had the ball in the net on another occasion. Germany, if anyone, will be glad to get to half-time all square. That'll let us throw. Last off the Argentina and a Manchester City fullback. Somewhat animated, but presumably reasonably encouraged. A man whose composure contrasts so markedly with the frenzied, frenetic regimes which preceded him. Here's Messi. Away from Hummels. Lionel Messi! Scrambled away from the line by Boateng. They're composed about that defending. Did what needed to be done. Mascherano. Backpedaling, taken up by Perez, who's crashed into Boateng. Referee was right on hand and saw nothing untoward. Lahm. Araya cross in front of Müller. Kroos. Müller. Found by Schürrle. And there's a bit of something and nothing off the ball here, which has been brought to the attention of Nicolo Rizzoli. Thomas Müller went down. I think was unimpressed that he was awarded no free kick. Schürrle bumped into Billier, that's the free kick in centre field. Referee saw that one, but perhaps not this one. Müller left a little bit on the Rojo there. Romero's clearance called immediately under his spell by Schweinsteiger. Schürrle, Kroos, come again to Schweinsteiger. Spread for Lahm. Last 3.5 minutes of the first half. Müller. It's a second chance from Perez. Müller again. Stolen away from in front of Schürrle by Zabaleta. Schweinsteiger. Past Götze for Andre Schürrle. He's insistent that Götze handled there. If we have an alternative opinion. Well, did get a fist on it. See what Schürrle meant. Mascherano. Rojo. Perez. Give away by Mascherano, that doesn't happen often. Closer for Müller. Özil. And a shot eventually, which Romero found simple to envelop from Kroos. A strike actually without conviction from Toni Kroos. It sat for him a little unkindly between his feet. He couldn't dig it out with any force. Early ball up for Higuain. Wanted to play Götze. Didn't saw the potential for peril. Müller. In for Klose. Whipped across the face of him. It's exactly what Klose begs for. Pace on the delivery. Just a shade too much whip. Seconds of the first half to play as the sun sets over Sugarloaf. And there will be 2 additional minutes beyond that. Tucked in by Perez. Gathered by Schweinsteiger. Closer furthest forward. Schürrle wide in one direction, Müller the other. Moved on by Kroos for Schürrle. Kroos again. Müller. Lahm. At last off Perez. Kroos with the corner. In by Toni Kroos. Attacked by Hummels. The referee teams that the last touch was that of Garay. So Kroos will have another go. Engaged in a battle with Zabaleta. German's cranking it up. Kroos with the take against the post! And gathered. Flag was up. It wouldn't have counted anyway, so regardless of the ball's proximity to the line, Herbert's header against the post was going to count for nothing. Brilliantly attacked by the left full-back. But once it came back off the post and struck a German body, the body of Thomas Müller, the ultimate poacher, too close to the line this time, the flag had to go up. Right on edge. The world remains right on edge. Herbert's with a header right at the death. Might have established a lead for Germany. But prior to that, Gonzalo Higuain missed a golden chance. Eyeball to eyeball with the goalkeeper and had the ball in the net, only to be flagged offside. As it is, though, it is as it was in Rome 1990 at half-time. Germany 0, Argentina 0. Argentina, 7 hours since they've conceded a goal. They've never been behind at World Cup 2014. They ought to be ahead in the final. And they're making a change. And it sees the withdrawal of Ezequiel Lavezzi and his replacement, intriguingly, by Kun Aguero. There has been previously only one entirely goalless World Cup final, USA 1994. Nothing to show yet here for either side. Here is Higuain. Schürrle back defending. Remember when they met in Rome, these two, Germany and Argentina, in 1990, strictly speaking, just still West Germany then. Their final was decided by a penalty 5 minutes from time. Zabaleta's throw, Aguero's first touch, Messi involved, Higuain faced by Obedes. Perez, Higuain, Perez, Mascherano, scooped over the top for Higuain, who's in behind here but offside. I think cohesive start to the second half from Argentina. Neat passing, and Higuain was tight when the ball was played. Shoulder to shoulder with Hervedes. They are certainly toying with that German offside line, Argentina. It only needs one to go right. Messi's played it through, Aguero's on the chase, Boateng's quick enough. And Neuer away. Perez. Bilia. Rolled through here for Lionel Messi. Flag has stayed down, and Messi has rolled it past the far post. Margins. Tiny margins. It's a beautiful pass. Messi's certainly onside. Target area reduced by Neuer. But there was a target area, and Messi misplaced it. The main man, Argentina's number 10, finds his magic dust goes missing when he wanted it most. Away by Rojo, forward for Klose. Taken up by Müller. Lahm in support, isn't he always? Boateng. And harmlessly behind. Lionel Messi, brilliant though he is, still, oddly, to score a goal in the knockout stage of a World Cup finals. And there is the man who leans on him, who trusts him, admires him, but only wishes he'd found the other side of the far post end. Hervedes away. Bounces down for Perez. Mascherano has wrapped that pass a shade too hard. Boateng. Aim towards Müller, well read by Garay. What an accomplished centre-half the Benfica player has looked. Zabaleta nicked off it by Klose. This is going to be one spectacular sunset. Heavenly, divine. The centre of the world. My goodness me, that's special. The football field has produced some glorious images over the course of the last month and more. But my word, the world doesn't come up with much better than what we've just seen. Mascherano shielding in the face of Klose. Bilia. In by Rojo. Nicked on for Higuain. Points out by Hummels. Aim forward for Messi, Boateng aware of him. Down by Higuain, wide from Aguero. Messi. Perez. Mascherano. Messi also aware of the official over his shoulder. The best view in the house from paradise. Schürrle. Götze. Schürrle. Hövedes. Schürrle. Götze. Hövedes, good tackle from Zabaleta. When these two did meet in successive finals a generation ago, they produced one of the best and actually one of the grimmest. The 3-2 in Mexico was wonderful. The attritional 1-0 single penalty win in Rome less so. But however goalless this is, it is in no way comparable with that Rome game. It's a really intriguing, watchable football match. Müller, Lahm. Taken away by Garay. Taken up by Aguero, who's prepared to take on Schweinsteiger. Terrific block from Boateng. Ozil. Closer spinning off his man, but Ozil didn't see him and went wide for a cross. Zabaleta. Messi, who's had the outstanding goal-scoring opportunity of the second half. Aguero. Bilia. Dimichelis. Perez. Higuain. Mascherano. South America, remember, has won all 4 of its previous home World Cups. Uruguay won at home in 1930, Uruguay won here in the Maracanã in 1950, Brazil in Chile 62, and Argentina at home in 78. Can Germany change all that? Here's Schürrle. Brilliant from Andre Schürrle. Müller's played it in, and Garay has lifted it behind. So smart of foot, and feeling he was tripped as he looked to penetrate the penalty area. It may be that the referee observed that and went on because Germany remained in possession. Either way, it is a corner. Close to take. Romero has stayed, and the referee has seen a push from Müller. Attempting to see the funny side. Love to watch Thomas Müller play because he does genuinely, evidently enjoy his game. And he might well argue that Rojo was looking to swap shirts early. There were 2 or 3 little personal tussles. Schweinsteiger. Nick back for Lahm. Götze. Muller. Work from him by Mascherano. Billion. Perez. Zabaleta. Higuain has seen the goalkeeper come, and Neuer met the ball right on the cusp of the penalty area. He met Higuain too. And the official has judged in Neuer's favour. Well, two issues here. Which side of the line was Neuer? I suspect that the lack of protest suggests he was the right side of the line. And then the extent to which he collided with Higuain. Well, he cleaned out the ball all right, but he made sure he took the centre forward too. That might have done damage, but it's hard to find Neuer culpable. It's what a goalkeeper has to do. Doesn't make Higuain feel any less groggy. Neuer, who's proved himself in this tournament the ultimate sweeper keeper, considers really the whole of the half his territory. Again here, his judgment was impeccable. You understand why Higuain feels a little bruised, both figuratively and physically, because that was thorough and thumping. But it's not a foul. A couple of paracetamol and on he goes. Not a happy chap. Kroos. Schürrle. Kroos. Read the diagonal. Lahm gets there before Billier. Higuain is back with us now, he's fine. Lahm. Hövedes. Schürrle. Hummels. Götze. Lahm. Özil. Götze. Özil for Lahm, who wants to take on the fullback here. It's Lahm's delivery, and it was Kroos's header, which bounced up kindly for Romero. Fine leap from Miroslav Klose, a slightly mistimed contact. That meant little threat to Sergio Romero. Hummels. Schürrle. He's down by Zabaleta. Hövedes with the throw. Forced into one first-half change. Still two in his locker. Close up. Philipp Lahm. Lahm, he might, you know. Tried a neat little diagonal. The expectation might have been that he'd let something go left-footed. Cut inside with good intent. Tried finesse rather than force. Muller's thought process didn't meet with Philipp Lahm's. Perez, Dimichelis, caught on it by Klose, shifted forward for Schürrle, Muller calling for it in the middle. It came to Ozil before he knew it, and it cannoned behind. It's a great win by Miroslav Klose. Creeping up behind the man in possession. Schürrle did nothing wrong, and it was just a little unfortunate for Mesut Ozil that it kicked up behind his natural run. The sun has more or less disappeared behind the mountains, and it is now a floodlit World Cup final. Aguero's after it for Argentina, and Aguero has got there, and he's kept it from Hummels. And he's got himself a corner. And out of sheer industry, stubbornness, refusal to be shaken off it. Hummels had the touch there, and from this point on, look at him. Aguero 7, 8, 9 inches shorter, but with big biceps and a sizable heart. Had eyes only for watching the ball over the line and winning the corner. Messi's take. Aguero intent that he should have another one. Aguero attacking it together with Klose. Oh, and a simultaneous contact. Schürrle. Schweinsteiger. Into a strangely errant clearance. Germany, certainly in their defensive third, haven't been quite the composed unit that has characterised them through the majority of the competition. Aguero seeking to unsettle them further. Higuain, Perez. Misjudgment by Mascherano. Closer onto it. Mascherano biting back. He'll have to see yellow for that. A simple and necessary atonement for his error, which has cost him a yellow card he knew he would get up to face. Not a lot of argument there. Against the Netherlands the other night, Mascherano did nothing wrong. So 3 bookings in the final. Yellow cards down on previous years by quite a long way, actually. This is the 180th of the tournament so far. There were 245 in South Africa 4 years ago. Discipline has been good. Red cards down as well. 11 against 11, that's what we all pay to see. There is a challenge which has got the referee dipping into his pocket again. For yellow card 181, and Sergio Aguero sees this one. And again, a decision which wouldn't have been hard for the referee to make. 25 minutes to play. Increasingly the suspicion that any goal will be the winning goal. Götze. Messi for those Argentine fans. Wriggling away from Özil, in by Billia, who was tripped as he dispatched the pass. Closer late arriving. Look at that. There'll be Celesti in full voice. Messi's taker, right, dashing up from the back, and Neuer coming to get it. Now Müller with Özil up ahead of him and Schürrle through the middle to Michelis. It's calm. Try that in a World Cup final. And Schürrle's proximity to the goalkeeper hasn't gone down well with Romero. Yeah, he's got number 9 on the back of his shirt. What do you expect? His job is to want a goal. Aguero. Taken out by Özil, who's fouled by Billia. Lahm. Özil. Müller. Özil. Beyond closer. Zabaleta taking no chances. Higuain. Up against the hand of Kroos. Bit unlucky on Toni Kroos, who was running relatively naturally. Quarter of the World Cup final to play, and I wouldn't dare even to have a gut instinct. Who knows? Simply, who knows? Germany for the 4th time, or Argentina for the 3rd. Mascherano, that's a smashing ball. And it's rolled in towards Higuain by Rojo, who had galloped 75 yards forward from left back. Billia. Perez. Following up behind him is Michelis. Zabaleta is wide. Michelis has found him. Zabaleta will play it in. Neuer chose to punch. Aware of Aguero close to him. And Lahm can now emerge. Too clever for Billia. Götze, no. There it is, 38 centimetres high, 18-carat gold. Handed back by Carlos Puyol on behalf of the outgoing champion Spain, just prior to kick-off. It sparkles. It's why we're here. Schürrle. Broke for Müller. Schürrle! The ball tiptoed away from him. Just for a second, he had an eye at goal. Ball at feet. It was a passing second. keeping calm, remaining below boiling point. That is a task for a cooling referee. Nicola Rizzoli. Tranquillo. Calm down, boys. Let's end 11 aside. Schürrle. Listen, if you can't dream today, you can never dream. And that was indeed a fantasy shot. Trouble with the Germans is they expect to win. Why aren't we ahead yet? The joy of the Argentines, you feel, is just in being here. You thought this was Brazil's ground. We have taken it over. Aguero won his header. Higuain, cleared by Hervedez. Bravely forward again by Mascherano. It's worthy of debate, this, because Mascherano was low as much as Klose's foot was high. To Michaelis. Zabaleta. Going to be a broken heart sometime in the next hour. What's clear is that nobody's going to lose by much. The margin will be tiny. Is Messi the margin? Well, this time he's not. So much demanded of him, so much hoped of him. The world wants his crowning glory, they certainly do. It's a fabulously evocative shirt, that. That says Kempes and Maradona, that says ticker tape in Buenos Aires. Messi, Zabaleta. Perez with a miscue that went right for Messi. Lionel Messi. Well, he got his shot away in the way that he does. You so often know what's coming, but as a defender, you are helpless in the face of it. Because of his low centre of gravity, his balance, that drop left shoulder. But he couldn't get the in-whip he needed. And that's a familiar left foot. Scored at the other end just like that, right back at the start of it all against Bosnia. Scored that spectacular late winner against Iran. Muller's header, closest take, Garay adjacent to him. So close so often. The 8 years since he stepped out of the shadows of Jürgen Klinsmann. Joachim Löw, an extraordinary record. The final of Euro 2008, where they lost by a single goal to Spain. Third then at the last World Cup, the semi-final of the last European Championships. And now the big one. Appear to be preparing an attacking change. Rodrigo Palacio is fidgeting on the bench. Maybe with us very shortly. Hövedes, Schürrle, Mascherano, who does so well. He's got a free kick. There he is, Palacio. 17 goals in Serie A for Internazionale this season just gone. He hasn't started a game at this World Cup, but this is the 5th time he's come off the bench. And he is going to replace Gonzalo Higuain. Aguero. By Hövedes. So that is Gonzalo Higuain's World Cup. That's his World Cup final. It's a World Cup final he might have won in the first quarter of the game. An evening he may come to regret. He did score the winner against Belgium in the quarter-final. That's a memory he will hold dear. Gives way here to Rodrigo Palacio. What a treasure chest of attacking players Argentina have, with Higuain and Messi, Palacio, Aguero, Lavezzi. And they didn't even bring Carlos Tevez. Never mind Diego Milito. Here's Messi. Oh, beautifully done. Still running at them, Messi. Aiming it in for Palacio, and out comes Neuer to fine effect. Putting Müller straight onto the front foot. It's a nearly game for him so far, Lionel Messi. A nearly game. Might be said of the game in general. Game on its edge. Waiting for its defining second. Özil, Müller flags up. Brilliantly snatched away from the would-be tackler by Messi. Palacio's run didn't dovetail with the pass. Corner has been given here, and Toni Kroos is going to take it. Closer in the 6-yard box, of course. Hummels behind him, ready to attack as he did at this end against France. Kroos with the take. Up gets Müller. Nipped away by Rojo. Götze. Lahm. Hummels. Müller. Thomas Müller. Hövedes went to ground. Closer came to get it back, and Argentina got bodies around it. Boateng drifted beyond Hövedes, all the way through here to Lahm. Moved up towards Schürrle and behind. And Müller, having come down like a pack of cards, is not protesting. There are plenty off the German bench who thought he was steamrolled there by Mascherano. Now here's Hövedes. He looks to me just like a centre-half in the wrong penalty area. No foul there. He and Dumichelis both know the score. Big bruising centre-halves. I don't think Hövedes had much of a case, nor indeed, in fairness to him, did he make one. And we're into the last 10 minutes. What did we used to say in the old schoolyard? Next goal wins. Biglia. Rojo. Garay. Forward by Biglia. So wouldn't get there. It's a smashing ball. Ozil floating. Behind Schürrle. Close! Smooth German passing. Lahm picked out Ozil, who'd gone largely unnoticed, who tiptoed into space and located Kroos, who looked to pass it in beyond Romero. He passed it the wrong side of the post. He'd swap one of his two in the semi-final for just one now. Probably swap them both, actually. They had a few to spare, Germany. Lahm. Müller. Pass which Ozil didn't appreciate. I thought he was fouled by Mascherano. The reason there's a hold-up, incidentally, as you see the foul, or the non-foul, the challenge by Mascherano on Ozil, is that, unfortunately, we have an intruder on the pitch. If he thinks he's going to be seen by a billion people around the world, he's sadly mistaken. Sure, you'd rather see Joachim Löw than someone who's come to spoil the party. Wow. That is an image to bring tears to your eyes. If that doesn't take your breath away, there's a part of your humanity missing. Beautiful. The ball's away. Down for Klose. First comes Dimichelis. Palacio. I'm not saying slithered. Palacio found Messi, and when Messi looked to play in Aguero, Sergio Aguero slithered. So often so close, but still no breakthrough. Lahm again combining with Ozil. Argentina about to make another change. Lahm. Schürrle. Behind Müller. Schürrle again. Ozil takes the throw. Lahm. Ozil. Boateng. Hummels. Schweinsteiger. Zabaleta. Palacio. Mascherano. Perez. Garay. Rojo. An Argentine change here, which sees the withdrawal of Enzo Perez of Benfica in Portugal, and his replacement by Fernando Gago. Been a frustrating week of 10 days for this fella, Gago of Boca Juniors, who, having come on at half-time in the opening game, started the remaining two group games and the second round contest against Switzerland. Hasn't started since. And Mario Götze is soon going to be with us for Germany too. Michaelis. Gago. Messi. Gago. On by Billia. Here's Messi. Götze, good challenge, chased up by Billia. Oh, fantastic challenge from Schweinsteiger as Billia was about to attempt a shot. So much for the team in all areas, Bastian Schweinsteiger. Well, this may be the moment we say farewell in World Cup terms to Miroslav Klose. Truly a legend of this tournament. 16 goals spread over 4 World Cups. He went beyond Ronaldo in Brazil. It may be generations before this global tournament produces anyone who can match his record. From 2002 to 2016, that was Miroslav Klose and the World Cup finals. Or in his stead, a man who has probably 2 or 3 World Cup finals ahead of him, Mario Götze, aged just 22. And the lights will burn on late tonight. In a city that rarely sleeps, there's going to be a party for someone, still we don't know who. And there are 90 seconds of 90 minutes still to play. Aguero. Argentina won the World Cup in 1978 in Buenos Aires. They did so against Holland in extra time. Will they need it this time? Palacio. Here comes Hervedes. The Germans have played extra time in a World Cup final as well. Mind, that was in black and white, 1966, and they lost. And the last 2 World Cup finals have also gone to extra time. It's becoming a habit. Mascherano. Who fancies becoming the planet's #1 football hero? 3 minutes to do it in, or 33. Who wants to be this year's Andres Iniesta? Messi. So close to finding Aguero. Scratchily out by Hervedes. These are nervous, twitchy minutes. Don't be the one to make the mistake. Palacio. Billia. That was a mistake. Götze. He's got Schürrle bombing beyond him. Götze's had a hit, but not an especially penetrative one. Kroos. Taken down by Gargo. Billia. Presented to Muller. Götze through the middle. Schürrle's getting up as quick as he can. This is Andre Schürrle. Well read by Dimichelis. Gargo. Rojo. Squeezed out for Lahm, who has 4 ahead of him in German white. Ozil. Got it back from Götze. Ozil. Toni Kroos. Thomas Muller. Zabaleta's in the way. And we're into the final stoppage time minute. Kroos. It's broken for Gargo, who hit it early for Aguero here. Aguero face to face with Hummels. Palacio through the middle with Messi. And Hummels got his work done. Invariably he has at this World Cup. Rojo. Dimichelis into borrowed time. There will be 30 minutes more. For the 3rd time in a row, the World Cup final heads into extra time. Just with Spain and Holland 4 years ago in Johannesburg, nobody here could find a goal, not even Messi. So a 30-minute extension to the World Cup final of 2014. Really well contested game, which lacks only a goal. A game that's been played on the cusp, on the brink. Still awaiting its crowning moment. Argentina, specialists in extra time. They have never ever conceded a goal in an additional period. Schürrle, he's got it back. Schürrle has belted it at Romero, and Schürrle's won it again. Ozil's had a go. Götze's going in there too, and Mascherano sweeps it clear, and Aguero can counter here. Fine tackle from Boateng. First to it is Messi, taken away by Hummels. Nothing cautious about this. Forward by Zabaleta, on by Aguero, and out comes Neuer to calm things down. Whatever happened to the blueprint of scared, inhibited extra time? Argentina playing their 3rd period of extra time in this competition, having beaten Switzerland late and having required penalties to beat Holland just the other day. Spread by Kroos. Götze. Lahm. Götze. Ozil. Schweinsteiger. Out by Garay, on by Gargo, on by Aguero. Chased up by Palacio. Messi through the middle. Rodrigo Palacio. Rolled in here for Aguero. Sergio Aguero. No one had stayed up with him. Within 30 seconds or so of the first period of extra time beginning, Sergio Romero was called into action. Schweinsteiger. Boateng. Götze. Ozil. Götze. Ozil. Lahm. Götze. Schweinsteiger. Indication at the start of this extra time period is that both teams are setting out to win it rather than to avoid losing it. Lahm. Ozil. Kroos. To Michaelis with a clearance that nicked off the bottom of Schürrle's stud. Götze pivotal to this. Schürrle had a first-time instinctive half-volley hit, which actually was close enough to Romero always for him to throw up hands and make the save. Lahm. Schweinsteiger. Lahm. He's reached that point. A few prayer mats out in Buenos Aires and Berlin. Schweinsteiger. Kroos. Hervedes. Schürrle. Fouls by Gargo. Schürrle. Very lively again as a substitute, André Schürrle. Lahm. Götze. Couldn't catch it up. Well, they had time to nip out for refreshments, the Germans. Those that could drag themselves off their seat and unfocus those attached eyes. Tired, weary, emotionally drained eyes. They either go home saying, I was there, or they rather wish they hadn't been there. It has to tip one way or the other. Gargo. Away by Hervedes, there's some weary limbs out there. Hummels, having gone down to make that interception, took about 20 minutes to stand up again. Gargo. Messi. Garay. Rojo. Palacio! Palacio! The answer's no again. Flung in splendidly from left back by Rojo. It defeated a leaden-footed Hummels. But Palacio didn't have sufficient lightness of foot. Lahm. Götze. Lahm. Götze. Philipp Lahm, Thomas Müller. Götze. Bobbles behind from Schürrle. And it bobbled behind from Rodrigo Palacio. The diagonal from Rojo was terrific. Palacio's first touch was okay. The second was more shin pad than laces. And that's how it got away. He scores that for Inter in the San Siro. This is all different. Götze. Schürrle. Müller. Kroos. Schweinsteiger. Kroos. Götze. Lahm. Lahm around Rojo. Out by Mascherano. Götze. Snatched out and rolled forward for Aguero. Almost got across just. Aguero almost broke his challenge. Had he done so, he'd have had a third of the field to himself. And so we tick past 100. In a World Cup that has contained 170 goals, which is one short of the all-time record. Will someone match that record? Palacio perhaps should have done. Messi still might. Schweinsteiger. Kroos. Götze fading in from wide. Lahm outside of him. Götze lifts it in. Zabaleta wasn't sure. Schweinsteiger. Schürrle. Ozil. Tackle Mascherano, and then he stumbled. Schweinsteiger has a problem there, and if he has a problem, Germany have a problem. Feeling he just overextended as he went to ground here. He folded up his left leg there as Mascherano went in behind. Not so much Mascherano's contact as the leg he left behind him here, Schweinsteiger. Germany still have a change in the locker if they need to. You'd need a coach and horses to drag Schweinsteiger off, though. There's a ligament or two in there that needs ironing out again. And there are 3 minutes until half-time. Again. Boateng. By Garay. By Mascherano. Foul by Kroos. Argentina wanted to take the free kick more quickly than the referee was prepared to permit them. Villa. Aguero. Broken up by Schweinsteiger. Lahm. Surely beaten to it by Mascherano. And Boateng poking it out. It's a very picture of nerves. You want to know how much it counts, how much it matters. Best thing to be in this ground is neutral. It doesn't hurt as much. Unashamedly miles from neutral. Germans 6,000 miles from home. Think of the bars of Munich and the street cafes of Berlin. Opening hours extended. It's late there, it's late. And nobody's going home. Kroos. Cut out by Aguero, turning his Palacio. Messi's up alongside him. Aguero joins two. Palacio at least did enough to draw in Lahm. And then, in an attempt to retain possession, arrived late on him. No additional time, that is half-time in extra time. And still there is no breakthrough. Best chance since the early stages of the very first half fell to Rodrigo Palacio, but he couldn't finish. And Sergio Romero, a hero in a penalty shootout 4 days ago, and Manuel Neuer, a hero throughout the competition for Germany, are a quarter of an hour closer to facing a series of penalties. Half-time extra time, it's as it was a lifetime ago, 0-0. It's in the lap of the gods. Who wants it? Silly question. They all want it. What have they got left? Is there a flash of brilliance? Is there a horrible, life-defining error? Or are 10 men going to have to step up, make the slow walk from halfway and have a crack from the penalty spot? To the chase. Mascherano. Aguero, Palacio almost got goal side of Boateng. Kroos, Götze, Schürrle. Hummels. Boateng. Özil. Boateng. Müller outnumbered. And then supported by Schweinsteiger, who's got a free kick here for Germany. By Mascherano, who is one of those in the book. Ample height. Wiped him out with the second foot as well. Kroos's right foot, or Ozil's left. In by Kroos. Held by Palacio. Reloaded by Schürrle. Hooked out by Rojo. Won by Boateng, but here is Zabaleta. Zabaleta, aimed forward at Aguero. Out-jumped predictably by Boateng. Lahm. Kroos. Ozil. Lahm, clever. Ozil, clever. Rojo only partially clear. Further out by Gago. Schweinsteiger's got caught again, this time by Aguero. Been a marked man, Bastian Schweinsteiger. He is combative himself. There's been more than one Argentine who's prepared to engage with him. Aguero gave him a clout. Oh, that's nasty. Schweinsteiger pleading for some sort of penal retribution. But Aguero walks away scot-free, and the sad fact is that Schweinsteiger won't be allowed to play on whilst he's losing blood like that. And so Germany will have to choose either to replace him or to play on with 10 men whilst he is patched up. Schweinsteiger's glare is at the fourth official. Wondering how Aguero's allowed to get away with that. He only has to an extent, it is still a German free kick. Kroos dabs it in. And as far as Götze, he's seen another coming together. Has awarded a free kick, I think, against Müller in favour of De Michelis. Oh dear. Going to be a few bumps on a few heads. Ow. Oh. His head bounced off that of De Michelis. Messi. With a feeling that Bastian Schweinsteiger is getting a stitch in his face. Certainly prolonged treatment. Kevin Grosskreutz is down potentially to replace him in the technical zone, waiting to come on. Would be quite something for Grosskreutz, who's one of 2 or 3 Germans who haven't kicked a ball at all in the tournament, to come on for the last 10 minutes of the second period of extra time in the final. That is a standing start. I'm waiting to see whether Schweinsteiger can make it. Oh. He will not relent. Many stitches as you want. Surprised if Schweinsteiger was the first to volunteer to take a penalty. Remember the last time these two met at the World Cup finals, it did go to penalties in Berlin. And Germany beat Argentina. And perhaps it's time now to start reminding everybody that when it comes to penalties, generally it's Germany. German bench getting a little too close to the issue for the referee's liking, and Rizzoli has asked his fourth official to keep Sami Khedira and others away from the immediate vicinity. Aimed in for Götze! Götze for Germany! 112 minutes! They find a way! From president to pauper, from chancellor to the cheap seats, the Germans celebrate! What a fabulous touch and take from Mario Götze. Taken with touch, with finesse, and steered beyond Romero. And the first European world champions in South America just might be Germany today. Mario Götze, smile for the world. Out of the wings and into the global limelight. The first goal Argentina have ever conceded in extra time. And the first time Argentina have been behind at this World Cup, and it is 7 minutes from the end of this World Cup. The first time they have trailed. Have they in themselves the wherewithal to retrieve it now? And the tears are welling, the Argentine tears. There are tens of thousands of them who've come north across the border. But Mario Götze, actually 4 minutes earlier than Andres Iniesta 4 years ago, has scored the goal that might be the winner. Germany win, that's their rule. It was once said of the game of football, it's a game of 90 minutes, at the end of which Germany win. Well, this is a game of 120 minutes, and with 5 of those left, Joachim Löw's side are winning. Can Messi save the Argentines? Can anyone save the Argentines? Garay, Rojo. It's got to be quick. Aguero through the middle. Likewise Palacio. Aimed up for Aguero. Came back to Billia. Schürrle with industry. And Götze with the touch of a genius. It is a beautiful take. A goal fit to win the tournament, if indeed it does. Billia, here comes Rocco, out comes Neuer. He's that good. He can juggle when the whole world's watching. Mario Götze with the goal, the 171st goal of this World Cup, which makes it, jointly with France 98, the most goal-laden competition there has ever been. Can Messi or Argentina find an equaliser to beat the record? Rojo, face to face with Lahm. Hoisted up towards Palacio. And headed over by Lionel Messi. Mario Götze, the man who moved from Dortmund to Munich, the man who started in Germany's first 11, who drifted onto the bench, came off the bench to win it for his nation. Painful faces, pained faces. Their journey back is a fraction of that the Germans must take, but it'll feel like an eternity. Germany have another change to make. Argentina aren't waiting for them. Romero thumps it forward. Wide for Rocco. Neuer's beneath it. One goal for Götze against Ghana. And one with which his grandchildren will be bored to tears. Zabaleta, out by Schweinsteiger. Müller can just run for the hills. Müller, he's got away from a pair of them. And he played it between Özil and the goalkeeper. Götze, nobody more motivated to keep the ball down that end. He's about to be the planet's most talked about footballer. He's trending on anything you care to mention. And they are treading the long path home, and they are about to dance all night. They won't need a plane home. They will fly unassisted to Hamburg and Dortmund, Munich and Berlin. The united Germany, their first World Cup since reunification. Özil gives way to Mertesacker. An extra centre-half to see it out, and he wins his first header. He's just winning the cap that takes him past Beckenbauer, the last German winner. It's his. He joins the company of the greats. We are in added time. Germany, the nation that will not sleep tonight. 2 minutes added on. Bonus time for Argentina. Mascherano with haste, with urgency, with desperation, with need. Messi. Never needed more. Messi. Foul on him, free kick. Now then. Now then. Schweinsteiger's challenge. This is the 122nd minute of the World Cup final. The world has been waiting for Lionel Messi. They offer up prayers on his behalf. It is now or it is never. The little boy from Rosario, Argentina, on behalf of every little boy wearing his shirt. Messi on a million backs. Messi for a million flashbulbs. Messi potentially to crown his stellar career. One kick of the ball, one kick of the football. He's done it before. He's done it many times before in the Nou Camp, around Spain, around Europe. He's done it brilliantly for his nation in this competition. He must do it now. Messi must. Lionel Messi, no, it's got away, it's got away. Grey day for him and for them. The sky blue has become dark. They're screaming for the whistle. Rojo's kept it in. Out as far as Biglia. Still the Italian won't blow. Whistle does go only for a free kick. This is added time on top of added time. Now! Germany are the champions of the world! Once more, this irrepressible nation of winners has found its way to the top of the globe. And few would argue, the Chancellor certainly would not, that over the piece, they have proved to be the best in the world. At the Maracanã, in match 64 of 64, the final score after extra time is Germany 1, Argentina 0. The world champions are Germany. From the president of Brazil to the captain of Germany. And Germany are the champions of the world.